Morning, and welcome back. We're talking about forgiveness this week and the power of forgiveness. And we're going to turn to Genesis chapter 50. 50. I realize 50 and 15 sound very similar on the computer microphone. 50, near the end of the book of Genesis. Genesis being the first book of the Bible. We have, there's a story, which is a little backstory here. Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat, right? The musical. Anyway, Joseph had 11 brothers? 12 brothers. Anyway, and he had many brothers. And they were jealous of him growing up, and they actually sold him into slavery. He ends up in Egypt. God watches out for him, gives him gifts of dream reading. Long story short, it's gone really well for Joseph. He's now the right-hand man of the Pharaoh. And his father, Jacob, Israel, is passing away at this point. And meanwhile, there's been this animosity between Joseph and his brothers. I mean, why wouldn't there be? They sold him into slavery. They basically told their father that Joseph was dead. They faked his murder, because they were jealous of him. Kind of like a Cain and Abel, right? Times a lot. But here, now Joseph comes back. He's the one in power. He has a chance to really get revenge, right? So this is his moment to get his brothers back after all these years. And it's his father's dying wish that he forgives his brothers. And it's interesting. I imagine part of him I would think he would be reticent to do this. Yeah, okay, Dad, that's great, but that may be your dying wish, but I don't know if this is forgivable, right? And yet, let's look. I'm in chapter 50, starting with verse 15. The brothers are freaking out, realizing that revenge is near. Kind of said that. But Joseph is told by his father, servants, that I beg you to forgive the crime of your brothers and the wrong they did in harming you. Right? This is what he was saying. Joseph's reaction. This is verse 17. Joseph wept when they spoke to him. Then his brothers also wept, fell down before him, and said, "We are here as your slaves." But Joseph said to them, "Do not be afraid. Am I in the place of God? Even though you intended to do harm to me, God intended it for good, in order to preserve a numerous people, as he is doing today. So have no fear. I myself will provide for you and your little ones." In this way he reassured them, speaking kindly to them. This moment of vengeance, the continuing of wrongs, right? The hatred that would have been passed down to the next generation between these siblings, it stops here. Joseph wept. The brothers wept. What that tells me is this was an emotionally charged situation. That both him and his brothers have been holding on to this. Maybe there was shame and regret they could finally be free from. Or maybe there's instances you can think of in your family systems or friends or neighbors or whoever that what would it feel like to finally be free from those grudges? And Joseph is being the bigger person too. Not only is he forgiving, he's actively providing for them, following the model, right? This is what we talked about. God has provided this forgiveness and grace, and Joseph is following it. Joseph is following this this pattern of forgiveness, and it's powerful. It literally changes everyone's who's involved's lives forever. And so, yeah, he has regained a relationship with his brothers that he would have lost had he held on to the grudge. It's the power that God provides, the power of forgiveness and grace. That's what we're talking about this week. So come back tomorrow for another example in Scripture.